my messy hair. Giving it a second, guys. Okay, what's good, my lovelies? Lovely soul Empress here, coming to do a back by special demand. I am here to do the what's good, Tina? I'm here to do the spirit messages. Okay, pick a card reading. I haven't done this in months. What's good, a dreamist? Okay, so really quickly, we're gonna get into it. Don't mind my crooked camera. Pile 1 is gonna be carnelian. Pile 2 is gonna be tiger's eye. What's good, Banji? Okay, and pile 3 is gonna be citrine. Okay, so we're gonna go over it again. Okay, giving people a minute to come in. Carnelian, pile 1. Tiger's eye, pile 2. Citrine, pile 3. Okay, what's good, Tamila? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a second. I'm going to show it again, okay, because people are still coming in. I hope everybody's weekend is going fabulous, okay? Pile 1, carnelian. Pile 2, tiger's eye. Pile 3, citrine, all right? I didn't play music today just because I'm using both tablets so I could watch the chat. All right. So again, carnelian, pile 1, tiger's eye, pile 2, and citrine, pile 3. Okay. If you chose, let me see something here. Do I have that here? No, I don't. If you chose pile 1. What's good, cheerfully sweet? This is your reading. I'm going to pull you a charm. And you have forever in reverse. Okay, so there's something that is getting removed, switched, something. Can we get one more for pile 1? You have faith, okay, in reverse, okay? So it feels like something, you have a doubt about something, or, you know, maybe something's not being removed. Maybe you don't believe, that something will last forever. I don't know. We will take a look, okay? But these messages are from your spirit guides, your ancestors. Now, for those of you who don't know, you know, or not really well versed in it, okay? You have ancestors that you knew and also didn't know that guide you through your mission here, all right? But as well, you may have like people who are specialized in something that you're doing now, okay, that are assigned to you. Okay, that would be more of a like a spirit guide, okay, or an ascendant master, right? Now, I also happen to believe that some of these, because I feel like that's all related to your Akashic records, that this is also aspects of yourself, okay? So past lives, okay? So we're going to get started for pile 1, all right? Just wanted to give you a brief so that way you could put it in the way that you understand it best, okay? So you have spiritual practice is number 1 for my pile 1, okay? I feel like that's what it is, okay? It has to do with how you practice your faith or your spirituality, or maybe you're coming into that season, or maybe you're supposed to have a spiritual practice like me. Okay, so the first card that comes out to that is the Mermaid of Immersion, complete commitment. I feel like my pile ones, you've already had an awakening. Okay, this may be a season of deepening that, or for the transit that happened that we're just finishing up with Saturn being in Aquarius. Like the last 2.5 years could have been all about the work of deepening your spirituality, and now you could be ready to like take a break, right? You also have little O in here, wisdom as light as a feather. And I feel like with this wisdom as light as a feather, what Spirit is saying is that you've done a lot of work on yourself. Okay, you've done a lot of purging, breaking generational curses, I'm hearing. Okay, now I'm hearing the Eminem, sorry, I never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out my closet, right? Now you also have Elizabeth and the Lion. It's time to become a great leader. So all this spiritual awakening, can we equal out the likes, please? All this spiritual awakening, it feels like there's a greater purpose, okay? Like there's a mission. It also feels like there are others that depend on you. You may not be in the season where you're seeing that yet, okay? All right, please equal out the likes, please. That would be greatly appreciated. As you come in, if you could please hit the like button. What's good, Copenhagen? Okay, so there's something here about a purpose, a greater purpose, coming to an understanding of said purpose, and it has to do with your spiritual awakening. Okay, so now I took out my past lives card for clues as to who this guide is. You have Atlantis. And it's very funny because I had done a spiritual conversation for Patreon about a week back. And we were talking about the past lives and the connection to our guides. And I was explaining that I felt like, you know, I was there or whatever, right? And you may have this, like, you know, you could have been 7 years old and obsessed with the pyramids, right? That could be because you were there in some capacity, whether you were on the Egyptian side or, you know, from another neighboring nation. Like it could be something that makes you remember, right? I remember the way you used to love me, right? And these things, they happen, okay? So what they're telling me right now is that you have a lot of locked wisdom. Okay? Was good, dreamers. I'm glad that it's resonating for you, okay? The tower, okay? And that's, you know, if you think about what happened to Atlantis, it was a tower, right? They're telling me that Pile 1 has anxiety, foreboding. This is a residual from that lifetime. Okay, leave it all behind, okay? They said, we're not dead. We're not dead. We had to leave it all behind. We're not dead. We had to leave it all behind. So in other words, like they make it seem like Atlantis just disappeared as a whole, but I feel like there was some migration. Six of Swords, better days ahead. So also what I'm hearing is that in this lifetime, and I had been saying on my channel for like a year, that second DNA strand that they keep calling junk DNA is not junk DNA. That's like your internal like your Akashic records within your body, okay? And that a lot of this junk DNA was being awoken in the season of Saturn being in Aquarius, right? So the Akashic records are very much available to those who meditate or those who are into their spirituality, because it's very surface right now. It's accessible. This foreboding, okay, or this feeling of anxiety comes from that experience of Atlantis, whether you were in Atlantis, whether you were in a neighboring place, the fear of like a tower happening immediately. I feel like this antenna, okay, they're showing me like an antenna is very, your antenna is very sensitive right now, because it's like this unlocking. Okay, so a lot of what you're feeling, you could feel is directed at you. I'm going to give you an example in a minute. You could feel like this is directed at you, has something to do with you, right? And you could be, you know, remember you have spiritual leader here. It's also Elizabeth in the line. It's time to become a great leader, right? So it feels to me like you may be getting all this anxiety. What's good, L cubed? Feeling anxiety outwardly. If you guys could hit the like button as you come in, it would be greatly appreciated. And what it is that your antenna is so it's activated, right? Where you're feeling the energy of the collective, but you might not have never read for the collective. You might not have never, you know, put yourself as like an open vessel to read for more situations. And I'm not saying that Pal 1 is a reader. You could be, but there's many ways of divination, right? So I'm hearing the clairs. So it's like these senses have woken up and you're internalizing it towards your situation. But meanwhile, it's like spirit trying to show you with outside events this awakening that has come within you, if that makes sense. So it's like there's a need for integration and calibration to this new gift. Okay, so we're gonna take the tarot, and if I'm not mistaken, Pile 1 got the most tarot cards out of all the piles. You had 5, and I asked Spirit to give me 3. And when I looked at the 5 that they gave me, I felt that it was important to leave it as is. Okay, so you got the Knight of Pentacles. Something took a long fucking time. Why is this Knight of Pentacles here? Look at that. Okay? Loyal, dedicated, protective, apprehensive. Plan carefully before taking action, but then get going. Pay attention to the details. Wait for perfect timing. A guardian angel or someone who watches over you. Okay? So you have been maybe in some way not realizing, I mean, this card could apply to me in a sense, right? Like you may not have, and I've said this on this channel before, right? Like you might have had an interest in astrology and started learning about astrology. That, you know, happened with me, right? Actually for me it was tarot first and then it was astrology, right? I never put the two things together till way later, right? So a lot of the interests that you have, they've been culminating to a particular purpose, and you may not, it may not be surface. For instance, let's say you were in going to school for psychology. You've been interested in astrology. You dibble dabble in tarot, and not realizing that this all has to do with self-development, right? Now, it's also telling me that this this person was a masculine energy. If this was you in a past lifetime, because I already explained that I feel like some of these ancestors, spirit guides, they're actually versions of ourselves, you know, in the line, right? Because we keep coming back, right? This is a masculine lifetime. This person had some type of like station in life. Okay, their family, okay? Okay, it's Hierophant here as well. So this tells me that from the Knight to the Hierophant, this person's life, their whole life was studying spirituality. Okay, with the King of Swords, this person, it feels like was a seer, strategist. Okay, here he's dressed like a soldier. So this gives me the impression that this person was like an advisor, a counsel. Could have been for someone in authority. High Priestess is right next to it. This is a hereditary. They said hereditary. So this person's mother was a high priestess, very powerful. She also was a seer, but with crystals. And that makes sense because of Atlantis. So she would crystal gaze and see visions. Okay, the dreamer, Spirit Y. The dreamer, a new start. Trust yourself. Push your fears aside and take a leap of faith. Getting two messages here. So somewhere in the line, it was like your soul made a decision to come back and enjoy a lifetime that was not, listen, let me say something real quick, sidebar, right? A lot of people might look at spirituality and be like, oh, I wish I had those gifts. Or, oh, I wish I, you know, was in that field. Or, right? But they don't realize how heavy the energy can be. And how much is required. From much is given, much is required, right? It feels like your soul at some point had made a decision like, okay, enough of the spirituality. Like, I just want to, girls just want to have fun, right? So there was a break. There was a break, okay? The world, okay? It was like wanting to travel the world. They're also saying that you have a very old soul, Power One, and that you're connected to many timelines with the world, okay? There was a need and a want and a desire to, even though you felt like, oh, okay, I'm taking a break from spirituality, I guess I'll see you next lifetime, right? It feels like this worldview. I'm hearing walkabout, which is an Australian term for going on a spiritual journey, but just going and letting life take you where it is. I feel like that was also giving you a spiritual journey without you recognizing, you know, you're in all these different places and seeing cultures from a different perspective, okay? I feel like they're saying it's enough now. It's time to come back into the fold. Okay, with the Four of Pentacles here, feels like you've been holding back. Okay, and I don't mean necessarily from this lifetime. I did kind of get that message with the world, like the feeling that the journey or spirituality in some way scares you, like a little kid, like being scared in the dark, right? But I feel like you were having fun in these lifetimes. Grand Rising, my love. It feels like you were having fun. Yes, that all lifetimes have pain, right? You guys could hit the like button as you come in. But it feels like with the Four of Pentacles here, it's like almost like amnesia, right? Where you almost forget that you got to go back to the line, to the gift, to the awakening, to the journey, to the overall mission, with the Ace of Swords holding back from the truth that you've been called to do this. Emperor. And it feels like when you were the knight that you were a supporting role. Remember I said like a counselor, an advisor or something. But now this time you're the boss that pays the cost, and the Chariot, and it's time to move forward. Okay, you got the Six of Earth here. Okay, so I feel like the Six of Earth here is talking about being distracted or giving to many different things. And you may be serving this purpose already in this lifetime without realizing. Let's say you are the wise friend, and everybody's calling your phone for advice, and you do a lot of listening. You're already in that role. You just are not unraveling the rest of the journey, right? Four of Swords and the Five of Swords. But it feels like pile one is doing it a little bit at a time. Four of Swords, right? They do some of the work, and then they rest and they heal, right? And the Five of Swords, right? Aware. I heard aware of the power. Also choosing their words, sometimes being silent. Aware of the power, yet with the Nine of Swords, because the 5 and the 4, they add up to that energy, making you feel a little anxious. Remember I said there was anxiety here about actually jumping in. It feels like there's an inner knowing. This is resonating so much. I just finished my Reiki level 2 classes, and you love your crystals. Yes. So this is like how things are starting to come together. Maybe somewhat subliminally, right? And subliminally at the same time, it's like you're piecemealing it, because it's like when you go to the pool and the water's cold, and you're like, I don't just want to jump in and shock myself. I'm gonna put my little toe, and then I'm gonna put my other little toe. But at the same time, you're shocking yourself for an extended amount of period, right? That's what it feels like. Okay, guys? So now you have the Nine of Pentacles here. Nine of Pentacles, please. Why is this here for pile one? Fucking, oh my goodness. So you got Nine of Pentacles in the upright. Okay, Ten of Swords in reverse. You're afraid, but Spirit is telling you this has to do with your independence. This is what you've been here for. This is what you were meant to do. This is like, it will show you. It will also make you, by becoming this spiritual leader in some way, financially independent, whether it's because you start your own business in it, or it's because like the connection to Spirit is so close that it's advising you how to make the decisions, and that you don't have to fear the Ten of Swords. Okay? Because you're the High Priestess. Look at that. Look at that. Okay? It's like your purpose. I feel like the Ten of Swords could come when you refuse it. This reading is definitely resonating. Thank you, my love. So it feels like the more you reject it, the more pressure, the more shit you're going to get. Right? And that could be the feeling of that tower, because you know that you can feel your antenna is basically screaming like, yo, are you getting what you're supposed to be doing right now? Right? Now you have House out of the Kipper. Okay? For some of yous, you come from a spiritual house. For others of yous, you're going to start a spiritual house. Okay? So in other words, like I'm a spiritual house where I have, you know, people who come to me and are under like my guidance or protection, right? No. House and abundance. Okay, it's tied to the line. It's tied to the line, guys. It's tied to the line. Anything else from this deck, Spirit? Last shuffle. Yeah, they're like, yeah, no, that's it, right? Self-esteem. But it's like, I'm imagining it. Or it's like saying like, well, that would be very ostentatious of myself or conceited for me to think that I'm the one, right? That I'm the chosen one. It's like, I heard Hourglass by Jazz was talking about spiritual narcissism, right? So you could be saying to yourself like, yo, I don't want to presume, and they're screaming in your ear like, bro, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so out of the Infinity Oracle, pile 1, life-changing decision with big success. It's like they're screaming at you like, right now you've been taking the pieces one by one of a puzzle, right? And we keep pushing you and drawing you and moving you, and I remember the way, and showing you flashes and trying to whisper in your ear. And the more you resist, the harder we have to make it, because there's people waiting on your resistance. So we have to like put these blockages so you get that you have to go that way, like rerouting, like GPS. And it's like your fear of that tower, of what happened in that lifetime that made you want to just go on a walkabout and ignore this, has left you with like some post-traumatic stress disorder where you're afraid to accept the assignment. But they're like, but that's what you did. You accepted the assignment when you came through with the soul contract. This is why we're trying to wake you up. Okay? You want to give them anything else? A postcard? Okay. Show me, Spirit. Can we give them a final message, please? One card. One card, please. Thank you. And it says, these are times when loss is a part of life. Sometimes a loss is a welcome, like when you leave a situation not in alignment with your highest good. Sometimes a loss is sudden and painful, like when a loved one crosses over to your dimension, to our dimension. Regardless of the nature of the loss and your control over it, your experience is asking to be acknowledged. Tears are necessary as grief, as it is grief. When you repress the natural expression of loss and try to move on too quickly, the unprocessed pain haunts you in destructive ways. We don't want that for you. Instead, let your heart break open wide. Feel the loss and integrate it. See the beauty that was, the lessons learned, and know that as you let go of what has passed, ever more of you remains. It gets better, we promise. Your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all, right? And it says, we are loving you, sending you love always and forever, right? And you know what they're talking about is the loss that happened in that lifetime, not necessarily in this lifetime. The fear of the tower. The fear of the tower. Okay? So that's what I have for pile 1. Okay, so if you chose pile 2, Let me just take some of these out because I'm going to need this one just in case, at least from the clarifying decks. I don't want to make sure that I don't get that I don't have complete decks for the reading, guys. So give me 1 second. Put your overall cards that came out on the side. That's with this, and this. Okay, perfect. All right. So if you chose pile 2, you chose the tiger's eye. All right. So we're gonna see what is needed for pile 2, and you're right. This is confirmation. I need it. Thanks. Okay, you're welcome, babes. Okay, so for pile 2, it's fulfillment. I'm getting like the never-ending story or something that feels bottomless. Okay. And then Snow White and her animal friends. You inspire trust and confidence. I'm hearing wake me up before you go, go. 'Cause I'm not ending up. What is that? Wham? I don't even remember the words to that. Okay, but I feel like Pal 2 feels like they give a lot emotionally. I feel like they may feel a little empty, like they don't receive. Orphan in reverse. This is a feminine. She said, I'm not little anymore. I feel like she's a young woman. This isn't necessarily giving me a timeline. It's giving me more a familial situation. So this could probably fit many timelines. So I don't want to say for sure yet because I don't know. But this feels like a child who believed that they were adopted and then found out that they were adopted, yes, but not adopted. In other words, I had a cousin. Well, let me rephrase. My grandmother had a cousin whose mother died at uh, at the birth of her. And so her cousin, which was my grandmother, was older. And so she took that child in as her own child and raised it with her 2 children as siblings. But the whole family knew that her mother died at birth. Okay? Now, what I'm saying to you is this person may not have known. They may have just they were told that they were adopted. This also feels like the reason why they weren't told was because of the parentage. Let's say if we were going to use slave times, because I got some feeling of that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that time because I feel like this could fit in many times. But let's say that this child's mother or father was working in the big house, and that this child was a product of a relationship with someone that owned or lived in the house and a worker, or another family member who was too young, like maybe a teenage child and a worker. And so to avoid the shame in the community, this child was told that they were adopted, but they really are half related to the people. So in this child, in this little girl's life, it felt always not true. So I feel like they treated her like the orphan, but yet she was not, in a sense. So it was like being reverse disowned. And so for my pile too, there's a sensation of feeling like you don't belong somewhere, or that people don't recognize how much you do belong. Okay? Now, out of the tarot cards for you guys got 4. Okay, so we're going to clarify those. And before I move on, I want to clarify this orphan card and just see what comes out. Spirit, can you show me? 10 of Cups. I knew she was going to say something. 10 of Cups with the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, right? So she loved them even though there was this feeling of orphanage. Remember I said that the Pau-Tu felt like they're always giving, but they feel like they don't receive, even though it was a hard life. Okay, with the world, something changed, okay? I feel like she found out in her like late teens, early 20s. She found out the truth, okay? And it made a lot of sense. I'm also hearing she died young, okay? 2 of Pentacles, Spirit, why? With the 10 of Pentacles, it was a wealthy family too. And the King of Pentacles, and the father lived there. And the King of Wands, okay, but the father, there was 2, oh. So the father was the secret. The moon, okay, the mother was afraid. So this was not in a slavery time. It's like in a time period like that, but not there. So it's an oppressed people. Okay, and one is of lineage and one is of not. And the mother with the moon here wanted to keep the secret because the orphan could be hurt. I'm confused. There's something here about making someone believe so it could be 2 families. 2 families, 2 warring families. 2 warring families of 2 different lineage, okay? Like, in other words, cultures or whatever. 2 opposing cultures. So I'm getting very much like Romeo Juliet shit. 2 like opposing families, okay? Okay, so this feels like there's 2 King of Wands, okay, a King of Pentacles and a King of Wands. It feels like there was a feminine who did something that she was afraid would be uncovered. Okay, so it feels like she lies about this child, whether this child is hers or she acts like it's hers. Maybe it's her brother's, right? But it's to protect this King of Wands and make it be the King of Pentacles, or make the King of Pentacles think that they adopted a child. but it's really the King of Wands child. Okay, something comes to light here. And I feel like the reason why it comes to light is something about the two families. Okay, with the Three of Swords, it's heartbreaking. That's the next card, okay? It's heartbreaking. Five of Cups. Oh. So I feel like that's why they're giving me the Romeo and Juliet. I feel like the two families, the children grow up. The children grow up. Okay, and there's a sadness because somebody knows that this child and this child cannot date because they're related. Right? So it feels like that's when she finds out. Okay, you got the Two of Swords here. Okay, you got the Two of Swords here. It was a secret, okay? Two of Swords with the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Wands. It feels like whoever the male is that she was dealing with doesn't understand or doesn't know, or just feels like there's a reason why they don't want them together, but wants to just leave. Both of them just leave. Six of Pentacles. She can't do that because she knows now. So she's trying to be... Oh my goodness. She's trying to be... she's trying to be like not say the reason. Evasive for the reason, but Nine of Wands, like resisting, okay? The Magician and the Eight of Pentacles. He's insistent on finding a way with the Hangman. Eight of Swords with the Four of Swords. And the Five of Swords. And the Ten of Swords. I fucking knew it. I feel like she tries to explain finally. Okay, she overthinks telling. Four of Swords. He reassures her basically, you can tell me anything. Five of Swords, betrayal, Ten of Swords, okay? I hate to say this. So I feel like for pile 2, the man that she thought would accept her and then found out that she couldn't be with, she ends up confessing that they're related, and he actually kills her. Okay, expectation in reverse. She never thought that. Okay? So what Spirit is saying for you guys is that there's this sensation that you feel like you never have your turn for pile 2. Like, it's my turn to see what I can see, right? And you feel like you never get what you... That's because that's what she felt, okay? She felt like everything I ever wanted, I never get it. Everybody else has it, even my lineage, right? Empathy. And she was very empathetic and sweet and kind. And it feels like you in many ways are that too. And the discipline and Spirit saying, protect yourself. Okay? Growth, right? I'm getting very like your first intuition is your right intuition. So in other words, you could be saying pile 2, like often you get a feeling about somebody and you're like, nah, they wouldn't do that. Right? Spirit said stop going against what you feel. Okay? Stop going against what you feel. Celebration and karmic partner, right? I feel like, you know, you already did the karmic partner last lifetime or whenever this lifetime was. feels like Spirit is telling you, you know, this life, you might have had other things that occurred that felt like betrayals. It feels like this life is about you recognizing that you should listen to your intuition, celebrate what you're hearing. Don't allow yourself to be wooed, okay, wooed into or lured into unsafe situations where you're going against what your inner feeling is telling you. Okay, your overall card was fulfillment. That's what you've been wanting like this whole time, to feel fulfilled. So you go to people and you think you could trust them, right? And Spirit's like, you need to learn how to pull that within yourself, okay? I feel like once you master that, that's when you celebrate. Like, you don't need, you won't be easily swayed to trust the wrong people, okay? You have, did you know that when you stop fighting and accept everything exactly as it is right now, miracles start to happen. There is a freedom in this kind of radical acceptance. Let go of unrealistic expectations and see things as they really are now, and how, not how you'd like them to be. You'd be surprised at how everything seems to fall into place. When you refuse to accept things, life gets messy. You act, you act messy, and your world stays in chaos, tension, and disarray. But don't try to force change or manipulate circumstances. Instead, learn about what is in front of you and face it with your eyes fully open. Then you can decide, stay or go, sink or swim, move or stay still. Acceptance is the key to freedom and opens the door to the real opportunities waiting to be discovered. Set yourself and others free, loving you so much, always and forever, right? So it's like hearing the intuition, I should go this way, or I shouldn't trust this person. And then they say, well, you can trust me. And then you're like, yeah, maybe I could trust them. And, you know, Spirit keeps telling you no. Right? Accept things as you are, not how you want them to be. Your intuition is telling you, rely on us, not on outside things that you know in your core is not real. Okay, so that's what I have for my pile 2. I'm going to separate these cards real quick because we're going to need some of them. This is, okay, this is the deck we're using to clarify. I'm going to give you guys 2 charms too, because I forgot to pull the 2 charms for my pile 2. Okay, give me 1 second. 2 charms for pile 2, please. Believe in reverse, right? Don't believe everything you hear. And then family, right? And this reading was all about family and how her family betrayed her, or they thought they were protecting her, but it ended up being a betrayal, right? Okay, so let's clear these away. And if you picked pile 3, got to put that there. You have, you picked the citrine. You have cultivation. You're learning something, developing something. Okay, and it says the butterfly ferrets, I am reborn, and the season's not closed yet. Okay, you haven't finished opening something. Okay, out of the past life deck, you got galactic transportation. Okay, so let's get a card for these. I'm already getting starseed. Okay, 8 of Wands, galactic communication. Okay, otherworldly. Okay, Spirit, can you show me what is with this transportation, please? King of Cups crossed. Okay, for my pile 3, there could be an absent male, or they could feel something like, I want to explore something because I don't feel attached to something. I want to see the world. I wish I was an astronaut. I wish, you know, and now I'm hearing, I wish, right? King of Cups coming out cross. It's like The King of Cups cross is a little emotional or feels emotionally unstable or insecure in some way about being the Emperor. Okay, with the Ten of Swords underneath that, there's like an energy of like, where do I belong? What's my purpose here? You're cultivating it, okay? So we're gonna look at your tarot. Oh, you got 5 cards too. Okay. So the 3 of Pentacles is here, the Ace of Wands, the 2 of Cups, the Knight of Fire, and the 2 of Fire. So we're going to take a look. Let's get a deck for that. Where is it? Right here. Spirit, why is this 3 of Pentacles here? You got the 4 of Swords and the 5 of Swords. It's a feminine. I feel like she was an artist. I feel like she may have had some type of suffered from like depression, or a lot of artistic people are extremely sensitive and they're classified as having some type of mental illness, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're more receptive, okay? I feel like when she used to get overwhelmed, she used to go paint or chisel, okay? They're giving me Renaissance here. Okay, with the Ace of Wands, Spirit, why? I feel like she was trained by someone who, a male. She may have been his daughter. Okay, Ace of Wands with the Tower crossed. I feel like whatever her artistry was at that time was not accepted for women to do that. I feel like she didn't give a fuck, okay? She was still doing it anyway with the Tower cross. I feel like there's something here. With this galactic about, you know, like indigo child or like some outer worldly. 2 of Cups, okay? This is why you feel, yeah, you see the 2 of Cups with this world, right? You're like tied to many things, Pile 3, okay? With the 9 of Swords in reverse, it feels like sometimes you worry about like your direction, and Spirit's like you're right on track with the Wheel of Fortune, okay? You may not see why it's happening, but you're right on track. You're cultivating it, okay? With the Knight of Fire here, which is the Knight of Wands, you could be trying a lot of different things. Okay, you could be trying a lot of different things right now. Spirit, can you show me? Too many, but I'll take the ones that are face up. A lot of people in this journey, like let's say you you have an artistic side to you and you have a lot of different mosh posh of interests, right? There could have been somebody that said to you, what are you going to be, a jack of all trades and a master of none? 4 of Cups, right? And I feel like this repels you. 6 of Pentacles, okay? You have many interests. I feel like this person would like to control you. Let's say it was a parent, right? They want to tell you what to be or what to do, or that was the case when you were younger. This also could have been this person, okay, that they experienced that because, you know, they were always being told that they had a mental illness, what they should be doing, what they needed to do in this life or whatever. And I feel like this person, the more they were told, the more they retreated into their own world strength, right? And then the 2 of Fire here, Spirit, why? I feel like the family told them to make a decision. Make a decision. You don't behave like the rest of us. You got to decide, okay? And then the 9 of Cups in reverse, okay? It was not this person's wish fulfillment to be pigeonholed, to say that a woman can't make sculptures or paint, or that this is a man's world. This is a man's world, right? They don't mean nothing, right? I feel like she was unwilling to give that up. Okay, Five of Pentacles in reverse. She said, I'll be fucking homeless. I will leave from here, but you can't take what's important to me. Page of Wands, impetuous teenager or young woman. She's like, I don't give a fuck what you said, what you heard. I'm going to work on what I want to work on with the Eight of Pentacles, okay? High Priestess, she was getting these messages from Spirit. Okay, Page of Cups, I feel like later, there was some, not recognition, but it was like a low-key apology. I feel like somebody took credit for something she did, okay? I feel like she didn't mind with the Knight of Pentacles. She just wanted to be able to practice what she wanted to practice, okay? With the thoughts, okay? So Spirit's telling you there's something in you that you want to go after, but maybe you're concerned with what people will say, or is that really what you're supposed to be doing? And maybe you were always interested in so many things and you don't just fucking know, but you got the Sun, you got the Star, and you got the Two of Wands. So Spirit said you already know that we've been leading you this, and that if you add the pieces together, that you've been cultivating this all along. You just got to make the decision to step out there and not worry about what other people think, and be the fucking Empress. Spiritual awakening and generous offer. You see what I'm saying? It's accessible to you. This is what all these different things that you've been interested in. This is what it was all about, to take you to this spiritual awakening. Okay, Spirit, why? Seven of Wands. But you resist it. And this spiritual awakening is like you're not sure. Am I really? Again, I was talking about the spiritual narcissism, right? Am I really supposed to do this? Is this really me? But you are becoming that. You are becoming that. Okay, Seven of Pentacles. You're more than halfway there too. Okay, so I'm hearing comes in like a lion. So something's gonna happen. Okay, towards the end of March. That's really gonna clarify something for you. It's like a sign between you and Spirit. Okay, a sign between you and Spirit that lets you know that that the message is for you. Like, you know, this is it. This is it. Make no mistake who you are. Right? Is that the Bee Gees? Okay, and it says it might be hard to believe you'll never get to where you want to be. Feel that way. Wait, let me start over. It might be hard to believe you'll never get to where you want to go. Feel the way you want to feel and find peace and security, but you can. There's lots to celebrate in this life, but first you need to let go of this attachment to achieving certain results. It's easy to get caught up in the endless loop of wanting this or that so you can feel safe. The only way out of this is to surrender the attachment. Empty yourself so you can be filled with something new. The compulsion will be lifted and peace will come. Trust that something better waits, that something new will open up, and you will see new opportunities for fulfillment. The truth is, whenever you get into the loop, what the hell is that? Yeah, into the loop, what you're really looking for is Spirit. The connection is where the power is, the peace is, and the purpose lies. Everything else follows after that. Give yourself a hug. We've got you, right? So this is feeling like, you know, is this my purpose? And Spirit's like, we've been leading you all along. Okay, so let's get you guys 2 charms as well. And you have beautiful. And Spirit wants you to know, you may feel like this has been very abstract, like why, you know, things move the way they move in your life. but it was part of the overall plan. And believe, okay? And it came out in reverse. It's like you don't believe it, but it is there for you, okay? So that's what I have for you guys, okay? The monthly March readings will be dropping over this weekend. All right, so I'm wishing you all light and love and blessings on blessings. Namaste, gang, gang. Bye.